and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a quick description of what I got coming up in this video. The first is this photo that someone took of a landed craft in the middle of a field. Also have this clip here of a UFO that was just recently seen. And this is an old clip from 2012 of the Israeli Air Force shooting down. Remember, they said it was a drone, but they're really not sure what it was. Also have this old video about an incident that happened in the 1980s in South Carolina of a shape-shifting UFO. And then this is an interview of this guy, Tim Godelay, who's a retired Navy Admiral, and he talks about how they have sensors under the water, and there's actually a scientific study of underwater UFOs happening. And this goes back to what I've been saying is, that the military, or some people in the military at least, finally acknowledging the fact that a lot of time these crafts are seen underwater, and I think it's because that's where that's where they live. That's where some of them live. Let's see. I also have this video here of a silver sphere in Mexico from 2020 that was seen coming down over the top of this jungle. And then this is a short video of one of these. Meteorologists will call this a crown flash. You see this looks like a water spout on top of a cloud, but to me it looks like some type of controlled movement. There's something else going on up there. Also have this video. This is a 2-hour, 20-minute scientific analysis of the Nazca alien mummies. And then I got 2 videos from this guy's TikTok channel, how he shows you possibly how these tool marks are created, and he thinks that it was was made by some type of tool. So we're going to look at this video and also his video here, where he shows you how the same building methods were used all around the planet, and he thinks that that they must have used a tool similar to what we use, because when we use this same tool, it basically creates the same tool marks that we see in ancient rock. And then last is this article here from UAP Max that I'm not buying it. It's aliens are here. Biden met them. They are not friendly. I find it hard to believe that the people in the Pentagon would read Biden into this. Again, because he's transitory. Hopefully he's only going to do 1 term. But I can't. If you've watched any interview of Biden, you realize that his mental state is declining very, very fast. So I don't think that he necessarily met them. Maybe they're just putting this story out there so to try and give him some credibility, because UFO disclosures happening, and they want to try and give him some credibility. But anyways, if you appreciate the time and effort that I put into bringing this information to you, please give this video a like, please share, and more importantly, please subscribe. It'll really help me out. Anyways, let's get to this video here. Let me go back to the beginning here.
Media showing what appears to be a silver object in the shape of a disc. Oddly enough, the metal object was captured by a local who noticed the object in the middle of a field in Spain. The eyewitness, who was able to get close to the object, said that it had a perfect metallic design and was in the middle of a field inside a private enclosure. This was the closest they could get. But they did say that it looked as though there was a doorway or opening that went directly into the object. What's interesting is that this photograph was posted just after multiple objects were seen above Spain, with eyewitnesses using the same description that matched this object, noting that the odd-looking aircrafts were shiny and in the shape of a disc.
Yeah, look, I want you to notice something. You see this this plant here? It's right in front of the disc. Again, if this is real, I'm not saying that the disc is not necessarily real, but this object is definitely there in the environment, sitting at that spot, because it would be real hard to try and layer in a separate file or a separate object, behind what looks like some kind of plant here.
When looking at the data from websites that track these strange aircrafts, it becomes apparent that these sightings are not a one-off and match the descriptions of other strange aircraft seen in other countries. Oddly enough, residents in Spain have said that they have the ability to just hover motionless without making a sound.
Yeah, look at that. Again, like I said, it would be real hard to insert a separate object, a separate file into this environment. I believe that, that this object is there in the environment exactly where it's at, but who knows if it's, if it's an actual working UFO. But anyways, they do talk about some other incidences in this video. It's kind of long, it's 25 minutes. But yeah, they talk about here trying, people seeing these pyramid-shaped UFOs. But anyways, link to this will be in the description. Let's go to this one here. This is, some guy just captured, looks like a lighted object in the sky. Let me just back this up a little.
It's gone. My infrared, it ain't picking it up on the infrared anymore. Oh shit. It worked. It worked.
Yeah, imagine that. This thing can only be seen in the infrared, using an infrared filter. It cannot be seen with the naked eye.
Recording it on my infrared and my phone at the same time.
Yeah, anyways, this is not the most exciting video. Link will be in the description. Let's go to this one here. This is a short clip of the Israeli Air Force shooting down what they say was a drone. Actually, they said they don't even know what it was, but it flew over Israel.
Welcome back, everybody. We've just received new video of the Israeli Air Force strike Peter Ducey mentioned earlier in our show. The Air Force struck down an unmanned aircraft flying over their airspace. Now, officials are saying they are still trying to figure out where the drone came from. The Israeli Defense Force tells Fox News it did not come from Gaza. The drone was not carrying any weapons. It appears to have been for monitoring and intelligence gathering purposes. Right now, that's what we know.
This is from 2012, so we've heard all that was in the news recently about the Chinese sending balloons over the United States. That definitely didn't look like a balloon. So yeah, who else would have the ability to create some type of drone and fly it over Israel to gather information? Anyways, let's take a look at this one here. This is about this shape-shifting UFO that came from Ion Cinema. Let me back this up a little.
Here's like this one's flying directly over the house.
Right over the house.
Right over the house. Here it is with the top of the capsule raised. He said that capsule went up and down on top.
Changed elevation. Sometimes it was higher, and sometimes.
Well, you see in this one, there's no top to the thing. This is going over the house also. This is the same photograph, but it's further over the house. See, it's going over the house. And he took another picture as it got over the house.
That's interesting.
And then as it went out in the field, it elevated this little thing on top of bubble on top.
That accounts for some of the changing shapes that we get reported. I see.
And here's one again in the open field, just over a cornfield, way out over the trees. He said the motion pictures are extremely good. He said they were real good.
Imagine that. Right.
But because he got to go over the house, into the woods, and out in the field, and all that kind of stuff. They said it was tremendous pictures.
Anyway, could you give us his telephone number again and let us call and introduce
I won't unless I call him. I'm not perfectly honest with you.
We'll pay for the call if you call him and ask him if he will talk to you.
Anyways, that's that video. It's only 2 minutes, 15 seconds long. Link will be in the description. Now, this is, like I said, this is about this guy, a retired Navy Admiral, Tim Gaudelet, on the scientific study of underwater UFOs. Now, in this part here, he talks about the incident called the Theodore Roosevelt incident, which got him interested in this, because I think before that he was a skeptic.
Right. Well, when I was serving as an admiral in the Navy, I worked under U.S. Fleet Forces Command, and my sailors were in an exercise on the ship Theodore Roosevelt, an aircraft carrier that was doing training operations in the eastern seaboard, just off the East Coast. And this is well known that this Theodore Roosevelt incident of UAP, what happened is I was on the receiving end of an email on the Navy or DOD's secret internet. And it was from my boss, the operations officer at Fleet Forces Command, and he sent this email to all his subordinate commanders, which was about 20 1- and 2-star admirals and their senior executive service deputies. And the title of the email was Urgent Safety of Flight Issue, and he attached the now famously Go Fast video from a Navy F-18 of this UAP, and he asked any of us in the address line if we knew what that was, and he said there were multiple occurrences of these almost having near midair collisions with aircraft, and they were thinking about shutting down the exercise for safety reasons, and that it was something I knew never could be produced by human technology, and that just convinced me that what was mostly hearsay and speculation and even subject of I guess stigma was real, and that's a UAP.
Now,
Yeah, I just want to mention, remember that, what was it? That vessel that went down to the Titanic, the Titan, and how they talked about how the Navy knew when it imploded because essentially they have tons of sensors in that area. I guess you have to imagine that they most likely have sensors all over the planet. Yeah, so there's no doubt that our military has been monitoring these crafts because, I've posted so many videos of like even the Russian Navy encountering USOs underwater. So if these things are making any type of noise, our military is definitely picking it up. But yeah, like I said, this is a 58-minute long interview, and he talks about how these sensors are constantly picking up these USOs. So like I said, we're definitely not alone on the planet. These beings, these advanced beings have been in our world for tens of thousands of years, most likely since before the Ice Age, according to some people. Anyways, let's go to this clip here. This is not the most exciting clip, but it's still kind of interesting. And there's more and more videos of these small spherical objects. And I'm still surprised that there were so many skeptics out there who claim, oh, there's, now that everyone has a camera and video on their phone, how come there isn't a lot of footage? My God, that's all I do. Every day I put up these videos showing footage that people, used their cell phones to take these objects. So yeah, that argument, that's what it calls straw man argument. Anyway, this is also, I found this on Reddit here, of, what some people call some people call this a crown flash. And they said that it's a natural meteorological phenomenon, but I'm not buying that. Yeah, that's like a beam of light or something that's being manipulated. They can bend it. You see how they could control that beam of light? I mean, it looked like it bent all the way out here. But I think this is being done by some kind of craft that's hiding in the cloud. Let's see. Yeah, so now this is a long 2-hour, 20-minute scientific analysis that took place in Peru. But let me just play a little bit of this. This is, here are the fundamental characteristics of these holotype specimens called humanoid reptiles.
De este espécimen holotipo, denominado reptil humanoide.
Let me turn this down and I'll just read. It's preserved in the diatomaceous earth silica which dried out these bodies, still keeping their organs, humanoid type with similar characteristics to reptiles. They do not have any hair, nor orifices, no nasal septum, no nipples. Their skin is characteristic. Oops, let me go back to that. They found a series of just, oh, you know what, I think I jumped ahead too far. Oh, let me just play it from here. Which object of the main holotype of this scientific, the results of analysis of morphological and biological characteristics are as follows. Regarding the place of origin, it is unknown so far, as well as the site where they were found. However, we know that it could be near the locality of Palpa, Nazca, as it was mentioned. It could be a cave or a deposit of diatomaceous earth and situated at the top of a hill. It would explain why these bodies are covered with diatomaceous earth for their preservation. Here are the fundamental characteristics of this holotype specimen called humanoid reptiles. Preserved in the diatomaceous earth silica which dried out these bodies, still keeping their organs, humanoid type with similar characteristics to reptiles. They do not have any hair, no auricles, no nasal septum, no nipples. Their skin is characterized, I missed that, the 58.5 centimeters. The head is macrocephalic, and inside we could say that it is almond-shaped.
La cabeza es macrocéfala y en vista lateral podríamos decir lo que es de forma almendrada. Tiene un hocico corto.
Its muzzle is small, the occipital condyle is pronounced, the neck is retractable, a bone-like scapula which would form the chest belt with the fused clavicles, corresponding to the furcula. A forearm with only one bone, item for the leg without radius and ulna or tibia and fibula. The hand is in pronation. It has 3 fingers ending with a flattened claw. Its pelvis is composed of separate bones with semicircular shape, so there is no pelvic structure like comparable with human beings. It is different. About their sex, we could say that they are gonochoric, which means that there are females and males. Its reproduction is oviparous type. His food would be through liquids. His walk is bipedic plantigrade. Here we have some data of these specimens' measurements. Anyways, I don't want to keep reading it. So yeah, this is long. Very, very interesting though, but yeah, this is, scientific analysis of this thing. So it's hard for people to say that, that these were hoaxes. Yeah, look at that, all the x-rays. Yeah, so this is a pretty in-depth scientific analysis, of these little beings. And I think they're a couple hundred years old. Yeah, look at these things. And and I'm on the belief that they're still around. You know what I mean? It's not something that was just in the past. I think these little guys are still in our environment. I think even like the Atacama humanoid that Stephen Greer talked about. I think we have creatures that that look like that. And again, that's one of those. That's the thing that that Gary Nolan tried to say, was a fetus, a premature fetus, even though all the indications is that it's it was several years old, definitely born, but that it's 6 inches. The Atacama humanoid was 6 inches. I think it had 12 rib bones. The skull, didn't have like the different what is it called, the occipital bones, whatever. or the sagittal suture. Yeah, the same sutures as humans. But yeah, these are other beings that again, that are definitely part of our environment. And I'm not necessarily, or there's some indication that they could be clones that were created by one of our advanced neighbors. But anyways, definitely check that out. Now let's go to these two clips here. I'm just going to go ahead and play. Hopefully, I play the whole thing and I don't get any copyright issues. But yeah, this guy's showing you how people, our ancient ancestors, definitely had some type of advanced machinery.
There have been a lot of stone drill cores found in Egypt, but no sign of the drills or the drill bits. Then there are the exposed slots where these cores came from, in ancient doorways and from other errant blocks that you might just walk past. Plus, there is a lot of evidence on various blocks that large-scale circular saws were in use in the ancient world. So, it's clear that the ancient Egyptians recognized the importance of and knew exactly how to utilize and deploy rotary tools in their pursuit of the most precise and efficient stone cutting techniques. So, dismissing the concept that it was some sort of large-scale rotating rotary grinder wheel that left the marks on the unfinished obelisk in the Aswan quarry is just a way to appease the belief of the people who hope granite can somehow be scooped just like ice cream, even with no such scooping tool being found or identified, which is just as bad as the people who truly believe that bronze and copper and a few thousand unskilled slaves can excavate a mountain of granite.
Yeah, see, now there's that one. And yeah, you should check out this guy. He's got a bunch of other videos too, where he talks about things in the ancient past. Now this is where he points out how, the same tools that we use today leave similar marks.
Rotary tools seem to somehow melt or soften the rock as well, which allowed them to not only cut through topsoil and limestone, but through bedrock as hard as granite, at a much faster feed rate than our modern tools. Once you recognize what it is, you will quickly realize that it is absolutely everywhere across the ancient world. So it is either they didn't know the ancient world had very advanced technology, or they found it and have been reverse engineering it and slowly release.
Yeah, see, I don't understand how academics, archaeologists and Egyptologists can look at these repeating tool marks in the rock and come to the conclusion that this all had to be done with hand tools as opposed to, some type of machine, equipment. There was equipment used to make this.
Releasing it as newly invented modern technology. It is quite clear that the ancient tool marks on the smaller end seem to resemble the modern power tool.
Oh yeah, something else I want to point out. I remember, when I was younger, I've always been into this strangeness about the ancient past. How it seems like they were able to do things that we can't do today using all of our modern tools. But yeah, these type of photos or discussions about these tool marks was never mentioned in the past. It wasn't only until the internet came around that I became aware of these tool marks. So I definitely think that there was a concerted effort to hide a lot of this evidence from the general public in the past. But thanks to the internet, it's much harder now.
Tools used by stone carvers, and on the larger end seem to resemble the diesel-powered rock wheel rotary drum excavators, trenching, and mining machines used across the modern construction industry.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Definitely check out that dude's channel. Let's go to this article here from UAP Max. Again, I'm not buying the notion that Biden would meet them. Come on, give me a break. Let me just go down to where he talks about how he was contacted. It says, 2 days ago, someone direct messaged me on Twitter. They said they wanted to talk, read some of my articles, and liked my verb. Their words, not mine. So with a grain of salt, we talked, and then we talked and talked. 3 hours later, my world had been shattered, and everything I thought I knew about aliens, disclosure, and UFOs was wrong in almost every way. They are here. They have at minimum 3 operating bases Earth-side and probably 1 or more Moon-side, and within our solar system and way, way beyond. I have no idea where or how many. Remember when Kirkpatrick said we may have motherships in our neighborhood? It all became clearer 2 days ago. Let me say this unequivocally, without ambiguity and no uncertain terms. We are not alone. Aliens not only exist, but have been here for 5 millennia, if not considerably longer. They are not friendly, and humanity is absolutely in danger in more ways than one. I'll elaborate in a second. Let's start at the beginning. Now, again, I definitely think that, some of them aren't friendly, but remember, this is not a monolithic entity. There's more than one. Likely up to 4. I've heard as many as 11 other species sharing the planet with us. But let me just read a little bit more of this. The person I spoke with is going to come forward, and you will hear them during the congressional hearings on UAPs in a couple of weeks. What I am about to tell you comes directly from this person, a high-level, C-level person within a very well-known weapons and technology company based within the United States, but operating internationally. Again, I was chosen, I believe, because I am an unknown, but someone that obviously would be responsive and listen. That I did. Here's the thing. Here's the first thing this person said after about 15 minutes of banter about family and friends, the getting to know you phase. Well, I contacted you because I decided I am tired, very tired. I've held this secret from the public humanity for a very long time. I could simply drop all this at any time, but I have a strong feeling, and there are many in certain places of power that can and are actively trying to stop it at any cost. I wanted to get this out. What I share with you will be direct evidence of both the confirmation of and evidence of extraterrestrial entities, both on Earth as well as galactically. There are many civilizations out there. There are 2 currently on Earth that I know of, humans and Ganzi. Ganzis are from another part of our galaxy, directionally speaking. They are within 40 light years as the rocket flies. They travel not through conventional space-time, but through fabric ripples created by opening an alternate method of travel they refer to as miasma. This, they stated, is the best representation of the way they travel. Ganzi are not willing to share technology in any way. The tech we have recovered and are in possession of is made of terrestrial components that are manipulated in a way that humans cannot. The metamaterials are created by alien processes here on Earth, and elements and spooky physics are not known to humans but exist. They simply won't tell us. That's why we reverse engineer and why these vehicles fall. They are not willing to allow technology on this planet that couldn't be created by humans within several hundred years. Apparently, if we jump a couple hundred years, no big deal. If we jump 1 million and don't know what we are doing, this is bad, very bad. Anyways, this is a pretty long article here. I don't want to get into reading too much of it because this video is getting kind of long. But thank you very much for making it to the end. And as I said before, if you appreciate the time and effort that I take into bringing you this information, please give this video a like, please share, and more importantly, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.